The corner, the corner, the corner.
Hey, welcome. Come on into Cousin Ed's Corner. This podcast is where you'll find real, authentic conversation, organic conversation, unscripted, unfiltered conversation, like you're home with your cousin. It's all about life. It's about finance. It's about spirituality. It's about love and everything in between. I'm your host, Cousin Ed. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey. So sit back and listen in as we dive into a wide range of topics. I have some diverse guests coming on with an array of thoughts and opinions. My goal is to create a space all for us to connect and communicate. It's not really about me. It's about the community as a whole. Let's enjoy it. Let's sit back. Let's think about our past. Let's move into our future. It's about
the corner, the corner, the corner. So no matter how you cut it or slice it, we're all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. The corner, the corner, the corner.
What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Cousin Ed. Yes, indeed, back with another one, Cousin Ed's Corner. And this is a corner connection. Actually, I may name this something different. This may be Amos and Cousin Ed. For all of y'all who are a little older and may remember Amos and Andy, we may do Amos and Cousin Ed for this one. So for those who don't know, my dad's name is Amos and I'm Cousin Ed. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Excuse the noise. We are on the road trip, and I get a chance just to ride and talk to my dad and enjoy some great conversation and say, well, let me just hook the mic up and we can talk. And I wanted some questions I wanted to ask him about just men in general. Dad, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Ed. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So, go ahead.
I'm just enjoying myself riding along with you. It's pleasantly enjoying myself.
He get to sit on the passenger. Let me not say that, because I sat on the passenger side coming and we flip flop. He's on the passenger side going. So it is a blessing to have somebody with you that can take over the wheel when you need them to take over the wheel. So I wanted to talk about some things that I learned as a kid or a youngster, or just having good friends and people around you and the value of that. What were some of the things that, as growing up, some things you told me about that?
Well, I know as a young boy, I remember installing in you the ethic to work. Always have something that you can fall back on. Always look ahead, don't stay in one spot. If you go on a job, don't settle for that position you're in. Always look for something that's going to take you higher.
Mm-hmm. But how does that relate to having good people around you, like friends? And guys, I see that more now with you, as we getting older and everything else, having good people around you and having friends.
That means a lot. The thing I always try to install in you: watch who you call your friend, and your friend will do something that will let you know that they're your friend. So be aware of what you call friends, and if they're your friend, it'll be shown. And you can find some nice buddies, friends, or people that you can relate to in any steps in life. You can find them. So that's something you have shown to me as growing up as a young boy and as you are now a man. So I've always tried to install that in you.
Now, one thing I remember, and I think everybody that knows me remember, was having the NBA in my backyard. So for those who don't know, we had the National Backyard Association. So where everybody in the neighborhood would come and play basketball. And I had a chance to, I put air quotes up, be one of the popular kids in the neighborhood, because I had my own, goal. I had music, I had water, I had juice, I had everything in the backyard. Why did you feel that was important?
Well, one thing about it is how it started off. I had a backyard, and I looked up one day and I said, I got to do something to entertain, keep my son at home and keep him busy. And it turned out that I put that goal up, and it turned out that it elected a lot of our neighbors, your friends, or whatever. But one thing about it is, everyone that came to that backyard, they gave respect. We had a next door neighbor to me, and she used to tell me, "Oh, go get your son. He's all right to play back here. I don't mind him being back here." So that was one part about that I remember coming along. Whatever you did in that backyard, people that came back there, it's a great amount of respect for each other.
I will say this much. Everybody from young and old, so all of the neighborhood OGs, as you say, that was around the neighborhood, all knew me because of this. All of the young kids that went to elementary and middle school with knew me because of this. And I had the freedom to, stay out all night long in the backyard and enjoy it. And that's where I got a chance to meet a lot of people that I might not have met to that degree, and was able to start learning about friends and who was actually there because they wanted to be a friend, and who was there because they wanted just to use the backyard for whatever, just to play ball. So it started there. Then when I got into high school, when I got a car, what were some of the things you told me about friends and cars?
Oh, man. But let me go back to that backyard again. Those young men that was in the backyard with you, and they only met me by me passing through them, years later, as they're growing up, they will still come up to me and say, "Hey, you're Ed Dad, we just come to your backyard," and they still remember me as that. But I did something out of the ordinary back when my son was growing up as a young man in high school. I don't forgot how I developed, but in the 11th or 10th grade or whatever, I got him a car. Oh, we got a car. And that was pretty well normal. But I had to do a lot of talking at that stage. I said, "Listen, you don't know who you put in your car, but be careful who you put in your car, so you don't know what they're up to." But what it turned out to be, it gave him a head start on other things, like when he went to college or when he went out on his own, by getting his car for him, because he learned a lot from just getting it and me talking to him. So when he got out there on his own, he had a bigger idea of what to look for in different kind of friends. So it was a good thing. It worked out for the best for us. Or not for the best, but it worked out good for us. It could have went the other way in a lot of other ways. So sometimes good things turn to good things. I can say that. So high school, he did a lot of good things in high school, but he went on to college, other things too. So I can say that worked out.
Well, I will say this. Coming up and having a car, I remember one instance, we was coming from Queens and you had to drop somebody home, and we got stopped by the cops. You remember that night?
Yes, I remember well.
And I was young. I was in the back seat sleep. And the guy you were dropping off ended up having, I believe, a gun or had something on him. Had a gun on him, something like that. And I remember that night, and I said I never wanted to be pulled over and somebody could stop me for somebody else having something on them that I didn't know about. Now, you don't always get a chance to check your friends and check what they have, but I never wanted to be in that situation again. That was one thing as a kid, a young kid, that I remember. That I never wanted to be outside the car and something like that happened. Now, I ain't saying I was always perfect now. Hold on now. But I remember that particularly. And if I put myself in that situation, it's my fault.
Yeah, let me go back to that too. Now, this particular night he's talking about, we was in Queens to a birthday party or whatever else. He was with me. Now, what happened was, these young guys was out there. They know me from Brooklyn. But what happened, they went out and did something they weren't supposed to be doing. So they was headed back to Brooklyn. So can I get a ride with you? I said, okay. Now, I'm not aware of what had taken place outside. So when I took off, coming back to Brooklyn, it was pretty late at night. It wasn't that late, but it was late. The cops pulled us over. Now they found a gun too. I think they took the guys in. I think they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Took the guys in. But now, let me tell you what happened. That young man that they took in that night, anyway he see me after that night, anything I want from him, anything I had to do, he remembered me from that incident there where we had that encounter there. My best friend, my best buddy, and he still said to me today, I remember what happened and you looked out for me. So that turned out to be a lesson learned for myself and teaching my son how to maneuver with different people in different styles of life. So that was a lesson learned right there.
Yes, indeed. Now, I will say one thing that I do thank you for, putting me into basketball, putting me in, with different coaches and letting me play, and that changed my whole life right there. I don't know if I'll be the same person I am today without basketball. Now, did you see that ahead of time, or you just wanted me to have something to do?
Well, here's how that developed. Now, I was working a job where I work a rotating shift. That means I'd be there 8 to 4, 4 to 12, and 12 to 8. And I was lucky enough to have my sister living in the same building with me. We all had kids. So I knew I needed something for my son to keep busy. I tried to get him in everything I could, barbering or whatever I had could find for him to be into. When I found out about basketball, and I remember one of the coaches said to me, yes, listen, if he comes to this basketball practice, he got to make the team. He got to sit in the front of the class. He got to pass all his tests. He got to be home a certain time at night, and he had to all the other things. He couldn't lounge around. So right then, I knew I was on the right road of doing things. So what I did then is I got him prepared for to go to camps in the summertime. I found some of the best camps. I had him in most of the best camps that you can go for. So we all benefited from things I was just trying to keep him prepared for. And let me tell you something else. When he finished junior high, the teacher said he was never going nowhere. One teacher wanted to might have failed him or whatever case was. But he went on to high school and proved that to be junior high and proved that to be an untrue thing. So that just tell you again how a lesson learned. And God bless him.
Definitely. I will say this much, and maybe I'll do another show on it. Did have some struggles during those years, and really didn't care much about school. And luckily, because of basketball, wanting to play made me focus on grades. Because before wanting to play, I didn't care about anything. I was like, hey, I don't care. And like he said, the coach said I had to do this, I had to do that. And I wanted to be one of the players on the team. I wanted to be one of the best on the team. Leaving junior high, that was probably elementary, but leaving junior high is when I went to high school and made varsity as a freshman. So right there, I knew that I had an opportunity and skill to be good. I didn't say great, but be good at that point. When did you feel you had a chance to let the reins up a little bit and knew you was confident in me maybe you didn't, but when did you start feeling confident in me to start picking my friends, hanging out, doing all those things?
As time went on, and me asking questions and doing different things with you, and seeing the kind of friends you was hanging with, and me trying to mix you with people that I felt was comfortable. And even though I had some coaches that you were hanging out with, I was skeptical about the coaches and everything else. I think we're like in high school when I started lighting up a little bit I didn't lighten up, but I just felt that you could handle dealing with people and different kind of people. My whole thing with you was I would always tell you a 70 is not good enough, or 80 is not good enough. You got to get it up higher than that for me to even pat you on the back or say anything. And you couldn't understand that at that point. I said, no, you got to get it up higher than that. You would always say, oh, I passed. But passing wasn't good enough. I kept telling you that. Passing is not good enough. You got to keep it up higher. So he went on to prove that to be, that he could do that too. So I knew it was there. It was in you. So all those things was working in our favor as we came along, you know. So we had our struggles, but those things right there help us to. Another thing with him is he liked to be alone a lot. Like I said, when I go to work at 4 to 12 and he's home. Now I had a problem with him, like being in the house by himself. He could go upstairs wherever he want to go, but he liked being alone, just doing his thing. So I had a lot of talking to do, a lot of talking. We did a lot of talking. When he didn't want to listen, I'll be in his ear the whole time, telling him different things. And some of the stuff I thought he wasn't listening to, he was picking up some of it.
Well, I will say this much, and not to discredit you, not to say I didn't hear you. The grades really came from sports. It didn't come from what you were saying. To me, today, I'm thinking on it. And back then, I think on it too. It really came from sports. I knew the higher grade I got, the better, the less of an SAT score I needed. So I was gambling on my SAT score. They had a sliding scale. And once I started understanding the sliding scale, if I get a 2.5, I need a higher SAT. If I get a 3.5, I need a lower SAT. And I did the sliding scale when the math started working out to me on what I needed. So I appreciate you talking, but then when that scholarship and money came around, I understood that even better. So, but all of the talking really helped, like I said, and like you said, I was alone. I think maybe being the only child, but I had a lot of time to myself, being able to figure things out. I like to figure things out, and just being out as much, wasn't my thing. I'd rather not take a lot of risks, and I'd rather be, figuring things out. I love computers. That's what got me into computers. I love, back then, just figuring out my schematics. I was in trades, figuring out my schematics. So, all right, before we going into college, how did you feel me leaving New York and going down to Georgia and having to meet new people and being away from New York City and interacting with others?
Oh, that was some experience for me because I know you being in New York, going to Georgia, I thought that was going to turn out to be a disaster, but thank God it worked out for us because, like I say, we had already set the ground a little bit for you with getting that car and learning people and you being around these different coaches. And I had to talk to you a lot about coaching, about people in the coaching. And like I say, I was working these off hours, so I had to make things connect as we went through high school. And in junior high and high school, the coaches and your work ethic would start working when you was in junior high, when you was going to what it was called, Mechanic Institute, not mechanic. You were taking up heating, air conditioning, and plumbing or something, right? Mm-hmm. And see how you performed in that. And a lot of that came from me telling you about different things, as being around me, telling you about air conditioning, heating, and how you can make money. And you didn't have to. I was trying to tell you, you didn't have to go to college to do it. You can get your trade and whatever else. And when you got in junior high, and you seen the opportunity, but really put his work together. He came out of junior high with the teachers and all praising him about how he was doing. I'm not trying to pat him on the back because he sat beside me. This is what happened. And this is just the idea of how you had your head screwed on. See, because he took on this ethic back going in junior high. I would say junior high. You always wanted to try to make $1. And he's always took that always all through his life. Try to make a dollar from a dollar. And that's what I picked up. He's trying to do something with himself. And he went on to college down in Americus, Georgia. And that's what really started him on the road to being successful and doing what he's doing. So I was very proud of him every step he took. And I'm glad I talked to where I did or what I did. I'm not nothing to back away from, because if I did something wrong, it worked out for the best. So you don't know, sometimes you just try to keep your head above water. And what you do, you're not doing it to harm nobody, you're doing it to make them see what life is about, because it's a dirty world out there. And me and him, we had a lot of, like you say, he was the only kid. Another thing is, if you're in a situation like I was in, you'll find other families, we experience it. They won't deal with you. Like you say, sometimes you might say, I want to bring my son by or whatever. I had a problem with that too, but it worked out for us.
I definitely appreciate the conversation. Hopefully, guys and gals, if you have any questions, you might hear more of these Amos and Cousin Ed episodes. But if you have any questions about myself, my dad, or growing up, any of those questions, please be sure to reach out. 762-333-2032. 762-333-2032. Also on any social media platform, cousinedscorner.com. Cousin Ed's Corner. You find on any social media platform. I love each and every one of y'all. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Cousin Ed.